Yep, you know what time it is. It's your boy, yeah, buddy. I'm back shaking up the latest cowboy information for y'all to use that you don't get off of TV. What's going on in your world today, ladies and gentlemen? Boys and girls and children of all ages. Yeah, I'm a happy guy. Even though the Cowboys did lose. Now, we're going to go ahead and break that on down now. Yeah, the preseason game won. Cowboys took a loss, but it's the preseason. That way we can check off the early signs of what we've improved on, and we can check off what we need to improve on. And one of the main things that we saw was a lot of backups getting a lot of reps, getting a lot of runs. You got your Deuce Vaughn's getting a lot of show. You got your Mozzie Smith coming up to play ball. It's just those two people I call out first because as I break down this game, I'm trying to understand what is Deuce Vaughn's role. I literally asked that question several times. Why would Deuce Vaughn be on the roster? And I can only look at it as a preseason body. Because if y'all saw, Phil Maffa came in and did exactly what I thought Phil Maffa was going to do. And I've been a fan of Phil Maffa ever since the season ended. I've been wanting the Cowboys to draft that guy. He's a smaller version of a Derrick Henry, shall I say. But, I'm still trying to find out, where does Deuce Vaughn fit in the Cowboys lineup? I only see him sitting in the preseason role as an extra body to preserve other bodies. That's just the truth, And then we turn it over to the defensive side. Mozzie Smith, you had a lot of time, a lot of snaps, and you have yet to show up as a Cowboy. You are proving America that you are a first-round bust. I have to say that. Mozzie was a first-round draft pick a few years ago, and still Mozzie has not showed me anything. I'm just wondering, what has he showed you? Just like Deuce Vaughn, those two guys, they're getting a lot of preseason snaps, but what have they showed you? And we look at it through the first preseason game. I know you say I'm critical on the first preseason game, but a lot of things could have went better. Deuce Vaughn, you've got a lot of reps in running the ball. You still didn't produce a lot of runs. Mozzie Smith, I'm still trying to figure out why you two guys have a uniform. I'm just being honest. I'm a Cowboy fan that tells you like it is, even though it may hurt feelings, because it will, but it's the truth. And I told you so. Now we're going to move on over to the Jerry versus Micah. They're still going back and forth. You guys are still tuned in to America's best open media chess game. How's an open media chess game? A, Micah's still there in Oxford. B, every time you turn on your TV, no matter what sports station you turn on, you could be 15 minutes into that program, and they're still talking about the Cowboys. That's what Jerry wanted to do the whole time. Steal the headlines, steal the media, take all the attention away from anything else going on in the NFL other than what's going on with the Cowboys. The Philadelphia Eagles won the Super Bowl, but you guys are yet to be reminded because of the farkers that Jerry got going on in Oxford. Shall we say the Washington Commanders are struggling to find a number one receiver? You won't find that out because Jerry steady got the media focused in Oxnard, California. The 49ers don't even have a starting wide receiver as we speak right now. Maybe you'll find that out once Jerry stops the media horde there in Oxnard, California. I'm just giving out scenarios. Maybe you can think about the Philadelphia Eagles really having to rebuild their offensive line, the defensive end, the defensive backs, but you won't hear about that because Jerry's dominating the headlines in Oxnard, California. And again, as Michael Wilborn stated, why should we focus on the Cowboys? because that's what Jerry wants to do. Year after year, Jerry brings in the drama. I know you're ready, Wayman. You know what, Wayman? I'm going to go ahead and take a little moment. The Philadelphia Eagles proved that they're actually ready for the next game. They play with backups. You know, I may dot a team, I may knock a team just for jokes and kicks. But the Philadelphia Eagles, hopefully they reloaded. As a fan of football, maybe they did reload. They're missing that offensive guard. The two offensive guards, if I'm not mistaken. The defensive end, the two starting defensive backs. But they're in the reload process. But you would never know due to the situation that Jerry Jones is hogging the media in California. You know, now, the thing about it is the defense. Let's talk about that run defense. It's weak. I know it's preseason. I know it's the first game, but it's weak. The Dallas Cowboy run defense, with what we had on the field in the first half, showed me no improvement at all. Yes, Mazi Smith, you are a problem, not for other teams, but a problem for your own team. You're a casualty. All you're doing is standing there. You're not moving the power. We had backups come in to be more productive than Mazi Smith. So, yes, I keep calling out Mazi's name. I'm looking forward to Mazi Smith being cooked. Just going to be honest. Y'all need number 13 back. Number 13 this year, Mr. Moore, is going to actually be Dante Fowler Jr. That's who number 13 will be. But what the Cowboys need to be working on is getting these injured Cowboys off the injured list back into full health and playing on the field. See, a lot of people don't understand. We have taken a major injury hit from the offensive line to the defensive backfield, and of course to another couple of positions that's on the field that we have yet to mention. Some nicks and some bruises, but that's football. It's gonna happen. Now, what we really need is for our starters. Take accountability and get you some preseason snaps. I'm sorry, Dak Prescott, you're not Pat Mahomes. You can't just turn the light on when you want to. You need to get revved up, and that's the good thing that the the Cincinnati Bengals are doing by getting their starters ramped up, because their starters are actively in the preseason game. Do I want to see Dak in the game? Yes, not the whole game. But get ramped up and get ready for the next preseason game. Get ready for the season opener, because September 4th, matters what I say or not, the Philadelphia Eagles are going to be ready. We got the prime time spotlight. Unless the Dallas Cowboys starters are ramped up, I ain't talking about coming out and that being the first snaps they take. That what I think hurts the Dallas Cowboys. The new prima donna situations to where the starters can sit until the season starts, no, sir. That doesn't work for the Cowboys. We don't have an on and off switch that we could turn on to be dominant, but we can damn sure be sorry if we're not ready when we suit up on September the 4th. Now, will Michael Parsons be there? Who knows? That's the irony of the story. That's what Jerry likes to keep going. You guys are so tuned in to what Jerry's got going on versus what the NFL has got going on. I told you guys several weeks before, we don't necessarily have to sign Michael Parsons. We picked up his 5th-year option. He has to play because he's on the contract. We even can franchise Michael Parsons next year. So this can linger on for months. So that's why we need to go ahead and get this behind us. Even the great Michael Irvin, my guy, the playmaker, hugged Jerry Jones and came up on the microphone and told Jerry Jones, get the Michael Parsons deal done. You saw what Jerry did. He didn't shun off Michael. He giggled. But Michael knows how Jerry likes to stir the media and keep the cameras focused on him. Notice you're not hearing from the Suns. You're not hearing from Will McClay. You're pretty much not even hearing from the players. You're only hearing from Jerry Jones. And the things that Jerry's saying right now, it's only to keep stirring up the media. But the thing about it is, ladies and gentlemen, if we trade Michael Parsons, which will devalue a trade at this time of the year, you don't trade Michael Parsons now. Get that out your mind. You trade Michael Parsons at a time before the draft so you can accumulate as many assets coming into the next season, not in the preseason. See, that's where you guys got to change it up. Get it out your mind. Oh, Cowboys are going to trade Michael Parsons. No, it's a part of negotiations. And Michael's going to get paid. It's levels to this. Jerry's trying to figure out what will be the cap figure for the next year. That hasn't been determined yet. Now, what threw a wrench in the game, and I know y'all don't see it like I see it, UFC just signed a $7.7 billion deal with CBS. See, the NFL is going to look at that and tell CBS, if you had $7.7 billion to give UFC, the NFL needs a little bit more money. So that means the price is going to go up. So you guys just sit back, relax, and enjoy a great game of chess being played between Michael Parsons and Jerry Jones. Now, whose stock is up and whose stock is down? I'll tell you one thing, two things for sure. You know, Mozzie Smith, their stock is down. Yep. Deuce Vaughn, your stock is down. Okay. Jalen Tolbert, your stock is down. Joe Milton III, your stock is just shaky. Just be real. Now, whose stock is up? Toya, the defensive tackle that we drafted from Oregon. Zion Childress, the cornerback that we drafted that we picked up out of Kentucky. And I told you guys to keep this name in mind. Ronaldo Fairweather. Out of Auburn, the tight end that caught the touchdown at the end of the game for the Cowboys. And Trayshawn Holden. This man signed the lowest possible undrafted free agent deal in the NFL this past offseason. And he's proven that he should be taking more snaps with the first team. He's out of Oregon. Right now, he's wearing the number 7, which is designated for Diggs. But keep an eye on a better eye than what you've been looking at, because Holden may be elevated to take some snaps at wide receiver number 3. That's the thing about it. How you doing, Mr. Donald Graham, Ricky? How you making it? It should be easier. It's going to be easy, Rick. And that's the thing about it. They're just figuring out the numbers. Numbers change every day. And what Jerry's trying to see is what is going to be the projected cap when Michael Parsons' contract officially ends, so the extension begins, and where would he be? I see Michael Parsons honestly signing for a little bit more than $43 million. If you ask me, that's my opinion. I also think, like I told you, conspiracy theory, that the deal has already been done. These guys are just orchestrated to keep the media involved at watching him. Now, who else stock is up? Tyler Neville. He's a tight end that we drafted out of Virginia. Watch him, because he also can play fullback. He's kind of talented, so he can play many positions. So I'm pretty sure they're going to put him on special teams so he can make the team. And of course, Phil Maffa. They can talk about Jaden Blue. They can talk about Javonte Williams. They can talk about Miles Sanders. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, if you don't keep your eye focused on Phil Maffa, you're missing the steal that the Cowboys drafted out of Clemson in the 7th round. The kid is a beast. He's running downhill at a rampant pace, something the Cowboys have been missing for the last couple of years. Now, having a running game, that takes my point back to last week when I said about protecting Dak Prescott. That definitely helps protect Prescott. because you're taking the ball out of Prescott's hands, which limits the turnover. You know, pretty much extends the season for him, slowing the injury down, but also installing a running game that the Cowboys have been missing for months. Shall I say for years? Because where is the running game? There hasn't been one for about 3 years now. We've been relying on Dak Prescott. That's why he's so injury prone, because he's doing everything on his own. Finally, Jerry gives him help. Y'all keep thinking about Pickens on the outside. It's a good thought. Y'all might want to look at my man out of Monroe, TCU, number 9. You may want to take a look at him, but keep your eye, Turpin is who I'm speaking on, but keep your eye on Treshaun Holden. Well, the thing about it, Kerry, a lot of Saints fans going to be watching. And I want to tell the Saints organization, you guys got y'all preseason. Well, I ain't going to say preseason. You got y'all primetime game on Sunday because y'all played at 3 o'clock in the preseason. But I'm not knocking the Saints. A great thing I can tell the Saints. You guys were watching so much of the Shedeur Sanders game that you was rooting for Shedeur, wishing that he was your quarterback. But guess what? Y'all didn't draft him. And everybody want to say, Buzz, what are your thoughts about, Shedeur? Okay, I'm going to tell you my thoughts on Shedeur. Shedeur did a great job against the Carolina Panthers. Yeah, I said it like that, Jamie. He did a great job against the Carolina Panthers. Hell, everybody's supposed to do a great job against the Carolina Panthers. I'm not knocking Shedeur. He did what he was supposed to do in that position. But you guys are acting like Shedeur is going to step out and be the next rookie of the year. No. Shedeur has to go through Cincinnati. He has to go through Pittsburgh. He has to go through Baltimore. I'm giving you signs that Shedeur was drafted, but basically he's set up for failure. Think about it. Now, had the Saints drafted Shedeur, maybe a lot of people would be rooting for the Saints. But unfortunately, you guys drafted Tyler Shaw, who didn't do a bad job. So you got to give him credit. He did a pretty decent job against Trey Lance. Speaking of Trey Lance, I don't understand why Cowboy fans were so elated over the signing of Joe Milton III. What's going on, Harold? You really thought Milton was going to threaten Dakota Prescott? I actually don't even think Milton will be the actual quarterback number 2. I believe Will Grier will be that. Y'all keep in mind, Will Grier was the America's high school player of the year when he came out of high school. The kid can spin the ball. I'm looking at Milton being only a faster Trey Lance. He has no touch on the ball. He's definitely athletic. That I can give him credit for. But this is my Cowboy team. I can tell you, he doesn't suit me for a number 2. Now, I want to take time to send out a shout to my sponsors. You're looking for a mortgage. You're on the ropes. You're going back and forth, don't know which way to go. Y'all better call Jeremy Brooks. Jeremy Brooks is the man, the mortgage broker. He's the man to get the job done. Also, if your body's feeling a little tight, your neck needs a little stretching, your ankles need a little popping, your back needs relaxed, give Jalen Ferguson a call out of Alpha Performance and Wellness. And also, when you get ready to get your t-shirts printed out for special occasions, it's football season, reunions, church organizations, anything like that. Get it personalized. Even if you want a personalized fan to give to your mama, give Shell Williams a call there at Custom Pleasures. Shell will get the job done no matter how big the order. She recently had an order for over 200 shirts for a family reunion. She got the job done in one day and had a happy customer relationship with those people. Now, back to the action. Well, the conversation, shall I say. You know, Shedeur Sanders. I don't hate him. I don't knock him. Yeah, Greer is better, Wyman. But Shedeur Sanders, he has a long road to climb. Y'all keep denying the fact and wanting to jump on the bandwagon so quick. Why? Because you're a Sanders fan? You are more than welcome to be a Sanders fan. Cam Ward may win the Offensive Player of the Year. Cam Ward is a much better quarterback than Shedeur Sanders. I'm just keeping it real. A lot of people only like Shedeur because of that name on the back of his jersey. I'm still trying to figure out what the kid do to get his jersey retired at Colorado. Y'all keep thinking and listening to the media saying that he turned the program around at Jackson State. Jackson State was never headed backwards just because of the HBCU and nobody really talks about it. Where do you think Walter Payton came from? I just drop a dime for you. You know, I'm not hating on Shedeur. Y'all wanted my answers. Now y'all got it. How did I feel about Shedeur Sanders? He had a great game against the Carolina Panthers. I'm just saying. It wasn't against Baltimore. It was against Carolina Panthers in their second team. No, I'm not a hater. I just tell the truth that y'all don't want to hear. Back to the Cowboys. What did I get a Cowboys grade on Saturday? They got a C-. The Dallas Cowboys look like trash. Yeah, Bugs, it's a preseason game. Quit being so hard. They my team. My quarterback didn't have no touch on the ball. They put Deuce Vaughn in the game as if he was going to make a difference. They were running the ball at will. These are facts I'm calling out about my Cowboys. We still got work to do. We haven't solidified the middle of our defensive line because we keep putting Moses Smith fan ass in the game. Excuse my language. Moses Smith is a bust. Deuce Vaughn, practice squad. I like the action of Malik Davis coming back more than Deuce Vaughn. Deuce Vaughn was a proposition, a propaganda for the TV. Son, you want to come to work with that? That's all that Deuce Vaughn was. Will Grier will be quarterback number 2. I'm going to go ahead and tell y'all. Joe Milton, he needs the snaps because he's going to be a gadget back. Joe Milton was just a cheaper version of a Trey Lance. I saw the same thing in Trey Lance for the last 2 or 3 years that we've seen in Joe Milton just here on Saturday. Facts. But everybody got hyped when they drafted Milton because he made one big throw in practice. He made one big throw, and everybody started clapping. Thinking he was going to take Dak Prescott's position, thinking that he was going to threaten Dak Prescott's position at QB1, thinking that Joe Milton was going to be the man at the start. No. In one preseason game, you realize why Dak's position is pretty much solidified. Now, the quarterback battle is going to be between 1 and 2, which still I like Will Grier more than I like Milton. A, Grier knows the offense because he's been in the system. B, Milton can actually spin it. You don't necessarily have to have a cannon of an arm. As you saw, Joe Milton could even place the ball where it needed to be. We could have scored 2 touchdowns. And due to Joe Milton's big arm not accurate, no touch. We suffered a loss. I told you, I can critique the Cowboys just as well I can critique any other team in the NFL. Cowboys are lacking. We need to sign another veteran cornerback. We need to sign another veteran lineman that's worth playing. We need not offense, but defensive linemen. Now, a couple of linemen got hurt in the game. Sadiq Charles. We got to look at Lyle Collins coming back. But the thing about it is, we have to get more offensive line depth because we've been taking key losses at offensive line. Now, all the NFL have been taking big hits. Slater from San Diego took a major hit. You look at the quarterback from Green Bay, he's having surgery. Philadelphia Eagles lost their starting offensive guard right now due to a meniscus. So people are getting hurt as this preseason goes along. A couple of season-ending injuries. Tajay Spears there in Tennessee, he's going to be hampered by a high ankle sprain, which is going to put Tony Pollard into the starting lineup. Then you look at Houston Texans, they lost Gardner Johnson. People are, the injury bug is hitting each team. And that's what you have to take into consideration of why Michael Parsons is not on the field. Yeah, that's the risk that Jerry's talking about taking. He says a risk if he do, it's a risk if he don't. The risk you really gonna take, Jerry, is getting beat up by everybody in the NFL without having Michael Parsons on the field. Now, let's go to the first game of the season. We play the Eagles. Beckham is going to San Diego, and the other guard just got hurt. We can't take advantage of that because we don't know if Parsons is going to be there. And that's the thing about it. Parsons is a very key figure in the Dallas Cowboy defense. Not just any defense, but the Cowboys, because he's a movable part to where he can pick out whoever he want to pick on the offensive line and go at him. But the thing about it is, we got to filter through all of this chess matching, grown folks getting at each other. Pay the man Jerry Jones Sr. We understand year in after year out, you want to make an Academy Award performance on everybody media stations for 6 weeks. Count them, 6 weeks. He did the same exact thing to Dakota Prescott. What's going on, Rodney? He did the same thing to Dakota Prescott. Ended up signing Dakota Prescott the day of the Cleveland game. Something tells me they're doing the same thing with Michael Parsons. Yeah, a lot of people want to beat Jerry Henry. It's simply because they're starting to realize Jerry's more inclined to focus on marketing than to focus on winning. A lot of key people that I thought that everybody thought that Jerry was going to pick up in the offseason, even last year, when he said he putting the farm on everything. It's the way Jerry likes to operate. And you have to be willing to understand it and be willing to deal with it. You have to ignore Jerry. We know Jerry's going to do what Jerry's going to do. He needs that spotlight. That's the thing about it. And he has a spotlight right now in the palm of his hand. Watching SportsCenter when it first come on at 6 o'clock, Jerry Jones. At 6:20 after the commercial, guess what's coming on? Jerry Jones. At 6:40 after the fourth commercial, guess what's coming on? Jerry Jones. That's exactly what Jerry wants to do, because in that marketing field, that drives the barking up on the Cowboys as a $10 billion empire. He's steady making money without signing people, but he's going to eventually sign Parsons. You can't afford to lose a player like Michael Parsons. He's a generational talent. So everybody that's a Cowboy fan, that's not a Cowboy fan, think about it. No other team is calling the Cowboys, knocking the Cowboys down about Michael Parsons, because they know how Jerry operates. There has not been one trade offer to the Dallas Cowboys for Michael Parsons' services. Come on, America. Put it together. Y'all keep hearing all of this on the media, but not one team has openly made an offer for Michael Parsons because they know how Jerry likes to take the media. And he's doing it. You guys are eating in the palm of Jerry's hand. Every time that camera comes on, Jerry Jones smiles from ear to ear. You didn't see Jerry in the combine. You didn't see Jerry talk at the draft. You didn't hear Jerry talk no time between March and last week. Bottom line, did you? So now what the media has done, since we didn't hear from Jerry then, we're just going to put all the cameras on Jerry to see what the hell he's going to say this time. And whatever he's saying right now, it don't even make sense. Bottom line is, like Michael Irvin said, get the Parsons deal done. Now, I'm going to take a minute, you guys, because I got a commercial that's going to air. So I'll be back in about 45 seconds. Next week, I'll be streaming from TikTok.
Hi, I'm Jeremy Brooks, your mortgage broker. Whether you're looking to buy your first home, upgrade, or refinance, I make the process simple, fast, and stress-free. I have several lenders that I partner with. And what does that mean for you? Low rates, fast closings, and most importantly, someone who picks up the phone. I will be with you from pre-approval to closing. So contact me today. I'll be more than happy to help you get in your home. Number is 318-394-1406. Oh, and then I failed to mention, my average close time is 12 days. That's right, 12 days. You can be in your home in less than 2 weeks. Give me a call today.